Alright guys, today we have a slightly different setting because my room is currently a complete mess, but I wanted to talk about Ethan Nwaneri, who is a superb young footballer for Arsenal, who just made his Premier League and I think men's football debut at the weekend for Arsenal in the Premier League, becoming the youngest ever Premier League footballer at the age of 15 years in like 6 months, which it's absolutely obliterated the previous record of 16 years. So yeah, I mean, youngest by nearly a year almost. So that's going to take some beating. But as a player, he is a player that is going to be well suited to Arsenal. I don't expect him to be, starting regularly for Arsenal for another few years yet. But he is very silky on the ball, very good at passing, and can score goals as well, as he's shown for the under-18s. Like, if you consider his age, he shouldn't really be playing for the under-18s this early on, which it's still amazing how he is, because he's playing a couple of years above himself by playing in there. So yeah, to be playing men's football is incredible, really. And yeah, he didn't have much to do when he came off the bench against Brentford on Sunday, and he came on and got like one touch of the ball, I think. So not a lot to go off there, but judging by what I've seen of him in under-18 games, he looks like a very good player, very good at picking up the ball in midfield and driving at opposition defences, and picking out passes for like a striker running through on goal. So not too dissimilar, I would say, to someone like Emile Smith-Rowe, who hasn't had as much game time this season for Arsenal. But yeah, it's similar qualities to what he has. Very good at picking out a pass whilst running at goal. And the other thing I would say about Nwaneri is that it's very, very unusual that like the youngest Premier League player of all time tends to play for a top club like Arsenal. Now, I'm not trying to have a dig at Fulham here, but Fulham have never really been a side who are, Champions League level team or top six. I know they got into the Europa League a few times over maybe 10, 15 years ago, and they actually got to the final one year. But yeah, they've never really been a top side, and they held the two previous players who had the record for the Premier League's youngest player in Harvey Elliott, and I can't remember the name of the other player. That's good. It was in about 2007 though. I'm sure it'll probably come to me before the end of this video. But yeah, to do it at Arsenal as well is like an achievement in itself, because even though they are a club who do like to give young players a chance, we've seen it over the past few years with Saka, Smith-Rowe, Nketiah, Balogun, lots of players. It's still, amazingly good going to do it at the age of 15. But yeah, from footage, there's not a lot to go off, but from what I have seen, he just looks like a very skillful player who can pass and shoot, and dribbling is probably his best quality as well. So his positioning on the pitch is probably like a number 10, but sort of drifts out wide a fair bit as well. So in that regard as well, quite similar to Smith-Rowe. The one thing I did liken him to when I was watching clips of him online is that he is like quite similar to in playing style to Smith-Rowe, as in picking up the ball and drifting forward with it and getting a shot off or playing off a really good pass. I don't think he'll get too many chances this season, Nwaneri, because Arsenal have got an incredibly challenging season on their hands. They're currently top of the league. They're going to want to try and keep it that way. And also they're back in European football this year, so they're going to want to have a good crack at that as well, even if it is only the Europa League. In fact, that might be where most of his chances come in, domestic cup competitions or off the bench in the Europa League or things like that. But yeah, he looks like a player who could become very good, whether it's at Arsenal or not.